Thanks again for staying with us on the program TMI on the ITV network. In the next conversation, we'll look at development and, of course, how we can make it better for this country, bringing the right people into the scheme of things anytime we have the opportunity to do that. Today on the show, we have someone who's been there over the years, celebrating his 30th anniversary in the film industry, our very own Okbeoba ambassador, Lancelot Oduwari Imaswe, a.k.a. the governor. Lance, it's good to have you on the show. I mean, you've been away for a while. Yes. So where have you been? Where have you been?
I've been around the world. I was abroad, Lagos, and like you said, it's I needed time to reflect.
Okay.
I've been doing this commercially for 30 years. I suddenly just woke up and said, man, it's been 30 years.
Down the road.
And you look at the hills, mountains that have been climbed, the valleys were falling, a lot that has been done, the much that is still within that has not been done, the state of things in the country. If things were better, maybe marking 30 years. If I was in the military, entering as a graduate by now, I should be getting to the rank of a general or a field marshal, if you want to say. So it's been a moment for reflection, looking at the political space, looking at the social space, looking at the economic space, looking at things that should have been done and the things that have been left undone. Not intentionally left undone, but the environment has not presented the opportunity to do those things. So that's been a year of moment of reflection, but in all, still so much to celebrate, so much to be grateful for, so much to be appreciative for. Those that have followed me, especially my Benin brothers and sisters, those that have called me up, a lot of the friends I have here are people they also, oh, so this is a Benin man. They call me up and we become close. The support has been enormous from home. So what more can I say?
Absolutely.
To God be the glory, and I only will feel to the end.
Okay, let's talk a bit of governance. The politics of governance and development, because you said a while ago, at 30, you could have done more. If the environment is right, if the structures, the infrastructure, the organization, all of that is in place. Give me your perspective on some of these key, issues and how you think would have helped advance the cause of Nollywood generally, and then development of the country generally. Because in a sense, when you talk about emerging communities in the global space, what Nigerians in the diaspora see about Nigeria is through the eye of the media. And what other people, other countries see about Nigeria is through the eye of the media. And Nollywood plays a very key role.
Thank you very much for this very beautiful question. For me, taking a ride from my place to this place, you see a lot of disorganization among the bus drivers. I want to personally beg the state government that I can see doing its best, trying. You see, what you first see in a society is the environment. Before you even begin to understand how the structure works, the environment. I think, like if you drive through Selu Market, you see the organization there. I think the larger society can be placed. The bus drivers can be put, reoriented, what they mean to our society, what the eyes are seeing, and what we can remake out of them. That is a very major part of governance. Politics is over. Somebody is in charge. Let one and all give the needed support. They also must be receptive, those in charge, to genuine criticism and ideas to move the society forward. Now, placing these vis-a-vis Nollywood entertainment, right now, entertainment is taking a very pivotal space in the rebranding of our nation. Nollywood started this. So in 2004, there was the Nations Cup. Somebody had a plaque in Zambia then. It said, Nigeria is really good in making movies. I said, oh, it has gotten this far. Now all over the world, you can say this country, thumbs up for this. But can same thing be said about the crude oil that is coming out of the soil that God has given to us in terms of the management and how it reflects in our daily life and the society? One, look at what the music, the Afro hip-hop is doing to the psyche, how it is rebranding. Hello, a prime minister was elected in Canada. They were celebrating with the song of a Benin boy. How about that? Has government, my God, isn't this the same thing that the Americans did with how they pushed their entertainment industry and imperialistically taking over the world? Our dressing, reflecting the American style. What did they use? They didn't come here to force us.
No.
They were using the instrumentality of motion picture, what you see. That is why most times when you visit America for the first time, you're like, wow, this is not a picture. I just read an article by Fashola that we should begin to remarket Nigeria. And I want to agree perfectly. Those saddled with the responsibility of leading this country must be mentally equipped enough to know that what are the things that we can use to do this. And entertainment comes frontal. The streets, the organization, all this Europe when we talk so, not inside house. So it is what you see on the street, the way the streets are organized. Everybody on the street, they are aware that they have a responsibility. Laws are put in place. You walk to a bus stop, you cannot stop. So please, particularly Edo State government, I'm begging, calling, that we need to reorganize the environment, because beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, and God in himself cannot dwell in a place of filth. A friend has joked that, don't you think that's the reason why in the Western world they hardly pray that the next man walking by you may be an angel? Because you can't see filth on the ground like that. It's difficult. That is not to say it's not there.
Yeah.
But the major streets, the major places you pass, you show this. So for me, I want to beg that those in government must be assiduous enough to make the environment, I'm very particular about this, make the environment conducive enough, beautiful enough, adoring enough. Then the minds, that is another thing. Some government came there and said war against indiscipline. I now think there's no better time to reinvent, especially now with the advent of social media and its power. We must reorient our people. Government is not doing enough, federal, states, in reorienting the people. But like they say, you can't give what you don't have.
Absolutely. Now talk to me about some of the issues that have also been on the front burner recently. The issue of insecurity, the issue of defections in political party, the issue of ideology, and how do you think Nollywood is playing its role to reorientate our minds as far as these issues are concerned?
You can't give what you do not have is the first law. When I see men in charge lacking in ideology, if where you are is not working, because the template there aligns with your ideology, then you will do everything possible to make it work. Mind you, when we started Nollywood, we didn't know what we were doing. There was no structure down. People laughed at us. We were shooting a VHS camera. But today, I just got a mail. They are celebrating Black History Month. They sent a city sent me a letter through my production manager that they want to read the maker of Invasion 1897 to mark Black History Month. How did we get there? Assiduous, constant, determined focus to achieve what we need to achieve. That is how the Nigerian entertainment has gotten global. Can those in the political space begin to think like that? It beats me horror. Today you are here. The next day your ideology doesn't suit with them again. You run there. What are they looking for? Political settlement. Where the grass seems greener. Where is that going to take us to? What are we going to achieve with that? So those that are fortunate enough to hold themselves in a position of authority should know that they are holding that space in trust. A lot of persons are watching them. Their children are watching them. You know what I ask myself? I say, these guys, how do they sleep? How do they sleep? How do they sleep? With some of the bizarre things you read, things you hear, people try to justify whatever action. All our conscience has been tied and held down by partisan consideration all of the times. But you cannot say of a truth, my party didn't do this well. The sky will not fall. My party didn't do this well. So there's a problem. Nollywood, I don't know. I did a political film called Obama. Arioba Rama
Interpret this for the global audience.
Yes, when the government is good, the people will be happy.
Okay.
I made a film long ago in a language, chronicling a local government election. How the best man who just fed, no, things cannot be like this, resigned his appointment as a bank official in Lagos and came home to want to contest to the local government election.
He didn't win.
He was humiliated. There was nothing that didn't happen to him. The wife said she will commit suicide. How can you leave a lucrative job to someone to play politics? And you never be part all the godfathers. But if you watch the movie Obama, he eventually won using the powers of the youth. Again, that brings me to the youth. I'm 54. I cannot consider myself a youth anymore. We may appear youthful, but we are not youths anymore. I do not understand their understanding of the time we are. That there is no other country they can call their own.
Apart from this.
Apart from this, that it's imperative that they contribute all they can to make sure that this country works. We don't do our own. I will blame the generation before me. Say, oh, they created, because this is not what I was told. I grew up in the Benin City, where when we are coming from school, any compound you see tap, you open it, water is coming, straight. You don't insult me like I saw it yourself. It happened to me. I was here when NEPA, that time, they announced that by 3 o'clock, by 12 o'clock on Saturday, there will be light outlet within Sokoma area, within this area, to allow maintenance. It will be published in Observer newspaper. It will be announced on NTA and all the media that are available. And by 12, the light goes off. By 3, because then better insurance will be playing football, and you cannot tell people that they cannot listen on their radio to the man cannot be there. By 3:45, the light will be back. What happened to us? We saw that. We saw, I was in Yogola Primary School. The governor visited my school. We saw books being handed over to us.
Free books.
Free books. My brother, they gave us food in school.
Free meal.
Free meal. It's not
Go.
I saw it. I'm 54. So when I clocked 50, I said Nigeria orphaned me since I was 12. Because it was from there we started seeing this in Mozambique. War against indiscipline. Indiscipline of the mind. Government must assiduously begin to reignite. That can only happen when righteous men are in position that understand that the situation is sickening. We cannot continue to just be evaporating. The situation is not good at all. But we cannot continue to condemn.
Okay.
I am proposing solution.
Yeah.
We need to begin to moderate. Government will invest in the remaking of the minds. Our minds are what? In the remaking of the mind, the youth must be made to influence. Influencers. Government must now hire influencers. All the Burna Boys, all the Davidos, they wield a lot of influence. Government must begin to tell how do we use these people to beautify the minds. Some songs have to be, let me tell you, a film called Blues Brothers was produced in Chicago when the longest bridge in America was built. So they took a drive in a scene in the film just to show
that longest
bridge. The bridge. Do you know what that means? So government must tap into the instrumentality of motion picture, of entertainment, knowing that it is the way to go. All those songs, there are things that can we begin to drop inside. In movies, patriotism can be entrenched in every movie shot by Nigeria, judged by the display of the Nigerian flag, judged by one line. You don't need to rub their faces. There are subtle ways, product placement. This is a major project that government must, because we must talk Nigeria.
Okay. Let's quickly talk about perhaps the biggest challenge. I won't say a problem because I know that it's solvable if we have the political will, put the right people in place, and drive it through the right process.
Right.
The challenge of insecurity in the country right now. We've seen the killings in Plateau State, in Jos, even in Edo State, in the southeast, southwest. And this, to a large extent, is associated with herdsmen attack that is taking its toll on the populace. And people are saying, look, we probably need to look at the option of creating community policing or strengthening vigilantes to be able to drive this. What are your thoughts?
Very clear, very clear. 2000, I was fortunate to be hired to direct a movie called Isakaba. Underneath that movie was the story of self-help, community policing, deploying the things that we know that are with us. That movie became a household name. And I'm happy to say that I just remade that film specifically because the reason 2000 were complaining. You can imagine the dire situation we have found ourselves today. I said there's no better time. So with the movie, which is the job of, you are telling Nollywood and National Development, the movie had pre-proposed,
predicted, prophesied
that state policing
is the way to go.
Vigilantes is the way to go if we really want to be serious. That was whatever means that is available to them to carry this out. Government must give them the legal backing. We said it. So now we just remade it. Ready for release. Isakaba returns. I'm again standing here, like I've said in several media, that to tackle insecurity, I had a victim some days ago. I came into Benin, they probably saw the light in my house. The next day as I stepped out, my house was boggled. They broke into my house. That is one. The whole iron stuff on my fence were pulled off along Old Sapele Road. That's why I'm very excited now. And thanks to the State government, I hear that road want to be fixed to open it up. Oga Governor, thank you, sir. Now, if there were vigilantes around, do you think everybody will have the effrontery to just basically go daytime, put off the protector on my window and enter the house from there? If those headsmen, they are aware that the people they are coming to meet are equally as prepared, will they just run them out like that? No. So I want to use this to advocate. We are talking, the movie made a word film. National development is entrenched in a lot of these movies. So specific films, no matter how funny the story may appear. I'm just doing a series now called Area Command. Go there and see what is going on. These are ways of using the instrumentality of motion picture in developing a community. I support street police, house police, area police, community police, and all of that. You can never know my community like I will know it. The process. Now, when I got home, the place was, I must quickly say this. We saw where they entered. I peeped through to my God, everywhere was upside down. We couldn't enter. I am in Ogobi. I ran to the police station on the express by a Christ Embassy campground there. What I saw was very demoralizing. No light. The person taking my statement was even thought. I said, are these the kind of persons? Meanwhile, when we are somewhere, there's a situation. The next thing you hear, one. Are they angels? Are they going human beings like us? Listen, those in government, those guys must do everything possible to make the society work. A police station, no light, no fan, they are using them. So I begin to say, change my perception about the guys. Anybody that is placed in such a situation to work for
can't deliver.
How can he perform?
I can't deliver. I can't perform.
I now drove one to my place and I used camera to take this like that. If somebody was actually inside as at that time, you know, it took me almost 1 or 2 hours before they could find a man. Because they said they need to give me a man. So I began to, so we just sit down, criticizing the police, We
don't know what they're going through.
We don't know what these guys are going through.
Because you're not inside.
You're not inside.
Lads, I must thank you for coming on the program. If we have more time, probably we'll engage this issue. But I know that you're still around. Probably we'll have time to engage you again. Thank you so much for coming on the program.